You know, the word startup gets thrown around all the time. But what really makes a startup a startup? And what separates it from just any other new business? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the unofficial playbook, from what it actually means to the tough reasons why so many of them fail. Let's jump right in.
So let's start with a big question, right off the bat. Think about some new app you've seen or a new online store. Is it automatically a startup? The answer, maybe surprisingly, is almost always no. And the reason why is probably the single most important idea in this whole space.
And here it is. This is the whole game. Think about a great local coffee shop. To serve twice as many customers, they pretty much need twice the space and twice the staff. A startup, though, is designed from day one for scalability. The whole point is explosive growth, using technology to serve millions of new customers without the costs growing at the same rate. That's the secret sauce.
Okay, so if scalability is the name of the game, what's the actual blueprint? What really defines a tech startup deep down in its DNA?
So here's the key. A startup doesn't just use technology, like how a coffee shop uses a cash register. For a startup, the technology is the business. It's the engine, it's the foundation, it's the whole reason it can even think about reaching a massive audience. That's what makes the scale possible.
And this really drives the point home. You know, for a company like Canva, the cost to add one more user is practically zero. It's just software. Uber built its platform once, and now it can scale that same software to cities all over the world. Even Tesla, it's not just a car company, right? It's a tech company. Its true scalability comes from its software and battery innovation, not just from building another factory.
All right, so we get the definition now. Let's do a quick lightning tour of the modern battlefield. What are the big territories where founders are building these companies today?
First up, the undisputed king of the hill right now, AI and machine learning. And we're talking about way more than just chatbots. This is about building the fundamental, intelligent tools that are quickly becoming the bedrock for almost every other industry out there.
Next, you've got fintech. These are the companies completely rewriting our relationship with money. They're using tech to make banking, payments, and investing way faster and way more accessible than ever before.
Then there's health tech, which is this incredible intersection of technology and human biology. We see it in the smartwatches on our wrists tracking our health, all the way to really groundbreaking companies that are creating personalized medicine based on our DNA.
EdTech has also just exploded. These platforms are basically democratizing education, making it possible to learn almost anything from anywhere on the planet, often for way, way less than a traditional degree.
Over in clean tech, you have startups tackling some of the biggest problems humanity faces. They're using technology to innovate in things like renewable energy, better batteries, and the whole electric vehicle ecosystem. It's all about building a more sustainable world. And finally, the business model that has become the backbone for so many companies, SaaS, or software as a service. I mean, if you've ever used Slack or Zoom, you've used SaaS. It's an incredibly scalable model. You build the software once, and then you sell subscriptions to it over and over again.
So that's the what. We see the landscape. But what about the how? If you were going to start one of these today, what does that playbook actually look like? What are those first absolutely critical moves you have to make?
Okay, so this is the classic path. But notice the most important part here. Building the product is not step one. The whole journey starts with finding a real problem. And then, and this is key, validating that people actually want a solution for it. The coding, the MVP, and especially asking for money, all of that comes after you have proof that you're building something people actually care about.
So that playbook seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? But actually following it is incredibly hard. And now we have to talk about the brutal, honest truth of what happens when founders get it wrong.
Yep, that's the number you always hear in tech circles. 9 out of 10 startups fail. And that's not meant to be scary, it's just meant to be real, because understanding why they fail is the single most important lesson for anyone who actually wants to succeed.
And here is reason number one. This is, without a doubt, the cardinal sin of the startup world. A founder falls in love with their own cool idea, their clever bit of technology, and they totally forget to ask the most important question. Does anyone else actually need this?
This one is just as critical. I mean, you could invent the most brilliant, world-changing technology, but if you have no clue how you're going to make money from it, or how you'll reach customers, or how to make it profitable, well, then it's just a cool science project. It's not a business.
And finally, maybe the ultimate truth. Look, ideas are cheap. Everybody has them. The thing that separates the winners from the failures is the relentless, day in, day out work of execution. It's the ability to actually build the thing, market it, sell it, and support it. That's what matters.
Okay, so after that little reality check, let's end on a high note and look forward. Knowing all the challenges, knowing all the pitfalls, where are the smartest people building the future right now?
This gives us a really exciting snapshot. We're seeing AI tools that are designed to make us more creative and productive. We're seeing autonomous systems that are solving huge real-world logistics problems. And then you get to the real cutting edge with things like biocomputing. I mean, this is where the next generation of giant companies is being born right now.
And that really brings us to the end. We've defined what a startup is, we've toured the landscape, we've walked through the founder's playbook, and we've faced those harsh truths. So the only question left to ask is the one that every single great founder started with. Looking at the world around you, what problem will you solve?